well. Also tonight, now it is the turn of the Democrats. What to do about Hillary? Hillary Clinton's plunging poll numbers have struck both fear and anxiety into her former colleagues in the Senate. Reports that Democratic senators are now anxious the Democratic nominee may be doomed in November, as well as their chances of winning control of the Senate. Amongst her problems and theirs, lawmakers say, is her public persona. Too guarded, they say, and her failure to connect with white working-class voters. Donald Trump, in contrast, continues to build momentum, having one of the best weeks of his campaign. The Republican nominee today, speaking at the Value Voter Summit in Washington, he argued that more of the same failed Democratic leadership and devastating social policies that have punished the poor and minorities for a half-century will surely lead to ruin for them and the nation in this century.
The Democratic Party has run the inner cities of America for 50, 60, 70 years, some cases over 100 years. Over 100 years. Their policies and their politics, and in particular the politics of people like Hillary Clinton, have produced only poverty, joblessness, and rising crime.
Tonight, more evidence that the politicized Justice Department priorities in its so-called investigation were to protect Hillary Clinton at almost any cost. New reports that the Department of Justice gave immunity to a second computer technician who wiped out Hillary Clinton's private email server despite a congressional subpoena and orders from Congress to preserve her files. Just another day for the Clinton cartel and our corrupt Capitol. We'll take all of that up with our expert politicos, the Weekly Standard's Fred Barnes, Tony Sayegh, and Diana West. Turning now to the longtime leader of that cartel, the former president himself. Bill Clinton on the campaign trail now and coming up today with a beauty. Mr. Clinton trying to sell friendly Democrats on the notion that Donald Trump's "Make America Great Again" is actually a racist slogan. But hypocrisy and memory failure, not unknown elements in the Clinton family. Listen as the former president went after Trump hard in the battleground state of Florida.
That message, I'll give you America Great Again, is, if you're a white Southerner, you know exactly what it means, don't you? What it means is, I'll give you the economy you had 50 years ago, and I'll move you back up on the social totem pole and other people down. What Hillary wants to do is take the totem pole down and let us all go forward together.
Wow, that was some construction, wasn't it, by the former president? He had to work hard to come up with his strange interpretation, and he obviously has forgotten when he, an Arkansas Southern Baptist, favored the very same phrase when he was campaigning for president.
I believe that together we can make America great again.
I want to attack these problems and make America great again.
You are being called upon, every one of you, to secure a better future for your children and your grandchildren, and to make America great again economically, educationally, and socially.
Amazing, isn't it? And it was a phrase the Clintons used again and again when Hillary ran for president back in 2008. Listen to her campaign radio ad.
It's time for another comeback. Time to make America great again. I know Hillary's the one who can do it.
Wow. Impressive, huh? Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway pointed to the inconvenient video and audio in calling the former president's bizarre allegations about Trump's slogan a disgrace. Have you noticed we haven't heard from Bill Clinton a lot lately on the campaign trail? And today's performance a reminder of the reason the Hillary campaign can't afford a lot of Bill's support. Our first guest tonight says Bill Clinton's remarks are the latest example of a flailing Clinton campaign. Joining me now, executive editor of the Weekly Standard, Fox News contributor, Fred Barnes. Fred, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
That is an amazing performance on the part of the former president, even by Clinton standards, a nasty but utterly silly attack on a man who looks to be now the front runner in this contest.
Well, it was a silly attack, and you know, the columnist Thomas Sowell has always said when they call you a racist, that means they're losing the argument, and Hillary indeed is losing the argument. It was a terrible week for her. The emails are still a problem. She did very badly in that non-face-to-face debate on Wednesday night, where Donald Trump did well. I mean, whatever the bar was for him to rise above, he rose above it and did very well. And the Clinton campaign just doesn't know what to do. They're panicking, and Bill Clinton's statement is a very good example of that panic.
Well, it is extraordinarily strange to hear now everyone advising Hillary Clinton, just as they were doing for Donald Trump a month ago. Now she's too guarded. She needs to reveal herself to the electorate. And I think many Republicans are thinking, please, Hillary, please just reveal your soul to the public, and we'll call this a contest. What do you think?
I think she has revealed her soul to the public, and they've assessed it correctly. It's not helping her. I mean, they act like there's some hidden personality there that Hillary's going to reveal, but she's holding back. Of course, that's nonsense. I mean, they're desperate trying to come up for something for Hillary. I'll tell you what she needs to do. She needs to stop making excuses for herself and taking responsibility for a thing or two. For instance, the emails, as she said again this week, oh, that was a mistake because of the non-secure email system, but I don't make any excuses. And then she goes on, as she always does, to make excuses. Excuse after excuse after excuse.
Well, her excuses are supplanted by her lies often, and they simply just lay there. The national liberal media simply doesn't know what to do. They continue to attack Trump. I mean, to look at the front page, the home page of the Washington Post, is to see a constant stream of attacks on Donald Trump. It is, have you ever seen anything like what the Washington Post, and to a lesser degree what the New York Times are doing in any presidential campaign in your career?
I haven't, and I've lived in the Washington area almost my whole life and been reading the Post since I was a teenager, and I've never seen anything quite like it. You know, it was one thing that was interesting today. A former Post political reporter, Jim Fandai, a founder of Politico,
right,
the great institution that covers politics, and he's forming a new venture. And what he said today in an interview with Hugh Hewitt was he has never seen the media so decisively pro-Clinton and anti-Trump. He says it's scary, this bias.
It may scare him. I am heartened by it, because there is no veil of pretense any longer. The national liberal media is presenting themselves for what they are, a left-wing bias that overwhelms reason, reality, in favor of the establishment, the status quo that's been created by wrong-headed liberalism for a half century in this country. Can you see my point of view?